So you want to make money from home as a freelance copywriter. Great idea. But one thing's for sure, everyone's going to have an opinion on what you need to do first. Some experts will say build a website, others say create a portfolio, and still others say start sending out cold DMs. Yeah, you could do all that, but those aren't the very first things you should do. The truth is, there are 7 things you need to do to launch your freelance copywriting services so you can get yourself out there with certainty, focus, and vision. And none of them have anything to do with building a fancy new website. Hi, I'm Krista Nichols. In 2018, I started doing some freelance digital marketing projects for clients, but it was hit or miss as far as success. I did okay, but I didn't really know what I was doing. But 2019 was a different story. I went all in on sales copywriting and grew my business to $250,000 with multiple 6 figures a year ever since. So how did I do it? In this video, I'm going to give you the step-by-step on 7 things you need to do to go from idea to launched. They're necessary, yet simple. In fact, you can do them all and have your freelance copywriting services ready to launch in just a week. I'm going to share a way you can go deeper and walk through all of it with my 7-step roadmap and my coaching, community, and support too. So strap in and let's talk about how you can launch freelance copywriting services in 7 easy steps. In 7 steps. This YouTube channel is full of actionable and proven hacks, tips, and strategies for freelance copywriting mamas just like you. Make sure you subscribe and smash that button so you get notified when my videos go live. The first 2 steps to launching freelance copywriting services might surprise you because they have less to do with writing and more to do with developing the right mindset. Step number 1 to launching freelance copywriting services is figuring out your why. Have you ever been asked or told to do something just because? If your relationship with the person who's asking is strong, you might do it, and it might be enough to keep you going when things get difficult. But what happens when you're the one telling you to do something? I'll tell you what happens. If you don't have a strong why for doing it, the minute the going gets rough, you'll be tempted to give up and go on to something else. Now, no one else gets to make the decision about whether or not you want to be a freelance copywriter, but you. That's great news, but that also means that no one's going to make you stay with it. That's up to you too. To make sure you have the best possible chance at success, you need to give yourself a reason why to keep going, even when it's not smooth sailing. So, what is it for you? Is it so you can stay home and spend more time with your kids? Maybe so you can stop living from paycheck to paycheck and finally become financially free? Or is it so you can grow something that's just for you, that engages your creative side? There's no right or wrong answer here, but give it some thought. And just know that the stronger your why is, the better your chance of success because you'll be unwilling to give up when challenges arise. The second step to setting up your freelance copywriting services also has to do with your mindset, and it's banish limiting beliefs. When I first started out freelancing, I had all kinds of limiting beliefs. I didn't think I'd know how to land clients. I didn't think I could make 6 figures in a year. I didn't think I could be a very good business owner. And when I think about how broken my beliefs about what I was capable of were, it's amazing I pushed through and made it here. But thankfully, early on, I had a coach who taught me that the biggest barrier to anyone's success is limiting beliefs. So let me put it really simply, because this applies to everyone. Your business can only grow to the level of your belief. So take a deep look at what you believe and ditch anything that's not true or will limit your progress. The truth is, we're more mean to ourselves than anyone else. We never talk to someone else the way that we talk to ourselves sometimes. And we do it without even realizing. So, how do you deal with limiting beliefs? Well, here's 3 quick and easy steps. First, you can't deal with something you haven't identified. So sit down and get real. Make a list of the beliefs you have that either aren't true or will limit your success. Will it be fun? Nope. But you'll definitely be glad you did it, because the second thing you're going to do is you're going to replace those limiting beliefs with truth. Give your brain something else to focus on so those beliefs don't just creep back in. And finally, number 3, destroy the list of limiting beliefs. Rip it into tiny pieces. Throw it in the trash. Light it on fire. Feed it to your goat. I don't care how you do. But taking action in a physical way to destroy those limiting beliefs makes an impression on your brain. Don't skip that step. It's really important. And one last thing about limiting beliefs. Don't be surprised if they keep popping up again and again for a little while. Now that you've become aware of the thought patterns you have that aren't helping you, you'll notice it more often. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually a sign of growth and progress. Now that you've got your mindset under control, it's time to get to work on some of the practical tasks of launching freelance copywriting services. The third step to launching freelance copywriting services is to create your business by design. What's that mean? Well, your business by design is what you want your day-to-day freelance copywriting business to look like. It's really important to spend some time thinking about this before you start serving clients. Because if you don't, your clients will begin to dictate how your business runs. They don't mean to. If you don't know what you want, it'll be tempting to just say yes to everything and then have to live with the consequences of your actions and regret what your business ends up looking like. You might find that you've ended up creating yourself a job with a really mean boss, and the boss is you. When it comes to business by design for freelance copywriters, the first thing to consider is what type of services do you want to offer? The more clear you get about exactly what you do and what type of copy projects you write, the better it's going to be, the easier it's going to be for the right kind of people to find you. You don't have to get super detailed about this in the very beginning because you might want to try out some different kinds of copywriting projects to narrow it down as you go. But keep in mind, there's more than one type of copywriting, and it's important to be clear about what type you write. So, for example, sometimes when people say, I need a copywriter, what they're looking for is content copy. Copy that educates, entertains, and engages a target audience. This includes website copy, blog copy, social media captions, things like that. But other times when people say, I need a copywriter, what they mean is they're looking for direct response or sales copy. This is the copy that helps people promote and sell their products and services. Besides what type of copywriting services you want to offer, you also want to consider where you'll work, how much you'll work, and what you want your schedule to look like. Now, the great thing about having a freelance copywriting business is that you get to decide all of that. But like I said, if you don't think about what you want it to look like beforehand, your clients will by default decide it for you. So what do you want your ideal business to look like? Step 4 in launching freelance copywriting services is another practical action task. Decide what you want to charge. Pricing tends to be a trigger point for freelance copywriters. What should I charge is definitely one of the most frequent questions I get asked as a copywriting coach. And I'll be honest, in the beginning, this is something I struggled with too. It's so hard when you're new. You have no frame of reference for what your work is really worth. You know it's valuable and you want to be compensated fairly, but you also just want to start landing some clients. You don't want to price too high and risk them hearing your rates and running away. So you push it to the back of your mind, and that works fine until you're on a discovery call and the client says, so how much is this going to cost? You freeze like a deer in the headlights, stammer out an amount that's way too low, and live to regret it. Pricing too low will keep you burned out and overwhelmed because you'll have to take on more and more projects just to reach your revenue goal. I don't want that for you, and you don't want that for you either. So set your rates now so you have a ready answer when you're on discovery calls. There tends to be two major camps when it comes to how you should start out setting your rates, and I don't belong to either of them. The first camp says you need to work for free at first. I don't agree with that. Even McDonald's trainees get paid while they learn. As long as you're upfront about where you're at in your skills and abilities journey, you deserve to get paid for what you do. Your services are valuable. The second camp is the charge high ticket from day one camp. I also don't agree with this perspective. Your rates should be determined by your results. You should never charge high ticket just because you want to. Your results for clients needs to be able to back up what you charge. So, how do you decide what to charge? You set a baseline rate. Your baseline rate is the starting point for what you'll charge. It's enough to take care of your commitments, and it's in line with what's competitive in the industry. But it's not a forever rate. As your skill level and your results increase, your rate should increase too. I created a free tool called the Baseline Rate Calculator that will help you quickly and calmly set up your very first rate. It's inside my 7-day client attraction crash course challenge where I break down all 7 steps of this process to launching your freelance copywriting services. If you want to join and spend 7 days with me, look for Client Attraction Crash Course in the video description below and click the link. There's one more practical task to setting up your freelance copywriting services, and that's identifying who you want to write for. Now, I get it. Right now, if someone asks you what kind of person or business you'd like to work with, your knee-jerk reaction is the kind with money. Yeah, that's the goal. But there's a lot more to working with clients than just getting paid. If you're not working with the right kind of clients and that continues over and over and over again, the money is eventually going to lose its appeal. I get it. At this stage, you don't want to be too picky. But if you never give any thought to figuring out who your ideal clients are, you'll wind up working with a whole lot of clients who aren't. I don't know about you, but kissing frogs isn't all that fun. Working with clients who aren't a good fit for you over and over and over again will eventually burn you out, make you resentful, and affect your attitude and quality of work. You might even be tempted to stop doing freelance copywriting. So, what if you don't have any experience working with clients yet? How can you be sure who your ideal clients are? Well, here's a few questions that can help. Question number 1, think about what types of businesses or industries you have an interest in. Question number 2, what type of people do you tend to work well with? I'm talking characteristics and personality traits, that kind of a thing. And question number 3, what are the absolute deal breakers that make you think, no way, I'm not working like that? As you work with clients, keep notes on what you liked and what you didn't like about each experience. It won't be long before you'll start seeing that you probably have a type. And the more clear you can be about the ideal clients you want to work with, the better you'll be able to attract them to your services. Now, here's a side note. Just because someone isn't an ideal client for you doesn't make them a bad client for everyone. They might just be a dream client for another freelance copywriter. Not everyone's going to be the right client for you, and that's okay. And remember this, your ideal client type might change over time. As your skill sets grow, the types of clients you work with will up-level too. So keep an open mind and be willing to step out and up-level, even if it's a bit or a lot outside your comfort zone. You never know. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, what if I can't find any clients? What if there aren't enough out there to go around? Don't worry. There are plenty of clients out there. In fact, there's tens of millions of small businesses in the U.S. alone, and that's not counting nonprofits and corporations, and they all need copy to promote their products and services. As you start thinking about searching for clients, if you're having trouble, I want you to remember something important. It works both ways. The clients are out there. Maybe the problem is that you're not. The 6th step to launching your freelance copywriting services is to optimize your social media profiles. So here's the thing. Social media done right can funnel traffic where you want it to go 24/7. Let's imagine you're scrolling through Facebook and you see a friend's post. You think it's great. So you go in there to make a comment and you notice that somebody else that you don't know has made a comment that you love. They have a great sense of humor, so you do what we all do. The old social media sneak and creep. You know what I mean. You click on their name and head over to their profile to see who they know, what they do, what their other content is like, and pretty soon you realize, hey, we both like golf. Oh, they've got cute kids. Friend request. And guess what? People are doing that to you too, without you even realizing it. Here's the thing. If you don't have information on your social media profiles and page descriptions about who you serve, how people can work with you, and what you do for people, people don't have anywhere to go. When they're looking for a copywriter, you're not the person who comes to mind, and they'll find someone else to pay them money. Oh, knife to the heart. You do not want that to happen. So make sure you include information in your social media profiles about what you do, who you serve, and how you get them results. At some point in every new venture, it's going to happen. Someone's going to turn and look at you, and your mouth will go dry, your heart rate will speed up, your palms will get sweaty, and you'll know this is it. The moment is here. It's happening. And sure enough, they open their mouth and say, so what do you do? What will you say? Will you hem and haw and stammer out something that sounds like technobabble mumbo jumbo to the average man on the street? Like, oh, I'm a conversion copywriting specialist who writes direct response campaigns for clients. Huh? Yikes, unless they're in sales or digital marketing already, that's going to sound like a foreign language to them. The good news is you can avoid the deer in the headlights, what do I say, what do I say moment by doing step number 7, creating a focus statement. Now you may have heard of focus statements before, but under a different name. It's usually referred to as an elevator pitch. Now I don't love that term because it makes me feel like you're going to walk up and just pitch your services every time you open your mouth. That's not what we're after here. We're after creating a simple statement that can talk about who you are, what you do, and how you serve people in regular conversation, okay? You want them to know why they should care. So the reason I call this a focus statement instead of an elevator pitch is because this statement will help focus where the conversation goes from that point. This ready response should be engaging and impactful. And its most simple form, a focus statement, goes something like this formula. I help, insert ideal client, get, insert result that the ideal client wants, by, insert your services. For example, if someone says, hey Krista, what do you do? I'll say, I help moms write their way to freedom by teaching them how to launch freelance copywriting services so they can make money online. That's quick and easy for everyone to understand. This statement is so simple that many of us forget to create it, and then we don't have a ready response when somebody asks. Now, here's a couple tips. Keep it short and simple so it's easy to remember and repeat even under pressure. Trust me, you'll be glad you have a ready response that just rolls off the tongue and moves people towards being interested in your services instead of being like, wow, I have no idea what that person just said. So that's all 7, and I go much more in depth with these 7 steps to launching freelance copywriting services inside my 7-day client attraction crash course challenge. During each day of the challenge, I walk writers through one of the steps with live video trainings, and they also have access to a private community, challenge workbook, a live Q&A session, and some really sweet bonuses. The important thing is I've been there and done that. You don't have to go it alone. You can launch your freelance copywriting services and I can help. So what do you think? Are you ready to launch freelance copywriting services with me? Click the link in the video description below to sign up for my free 7-day challenge where I'll walk you through all 7 steps to launching freelance copywriting services in just 1 week. Give me a thumbs up if this video is helpful and drop a comment below and let me know. And if you missed my video last week, I shared an absolute beginner's guide to getting started as a freelance copywriter. Check out the link for that video in the description below and make sure to subscribe and follow this channel for more tips, strategies, and resources for freelance copywriting mamas. I'm Krista, living the mom, wife, copywriter life.